What happened to the man who challenged Sparta's most notorious king? Prince Dorius, brother of King Leonidas I and son of King Anaxandridas II, was born sometime between 550 and 540 BCE. When King Anaxandridas died around 520, there was a fight for the throne between Cleomenes, the king's eldest son, and Dorius, the king's second eldest son. Although Cleomenes was older, he had been born to the king's second younger wife, since Dorius was the eldest son of the older royal wife and had thrived in Sparta's brutal military academy, the Agoge, and unlike Cleomenes was of sound mind, Prince Dorius was certain he would be the better king, and he had a lot of fans in Sparta who agreed with him. And so Dorius challenged the most ambitious and unstable king Sparta had ever known. So it happened. To Dorius' total surprise, the Spartan authorities ended up siding with Cleomenes in the fight for the throne. How did Dorius react? Not well. Infuriated by their decision, Dorius stormed off with a handful of supporters to found a Spartan colony near the Canips River, now known as the Ka'am River in Libya. Why Libya? It may seem a random choice, but in fact the Dorians, the race of people Spartans came from and for which Dorius was named, had settled in Cyrene, Libya a century before, and thanks to a thriving trade community became extremely wealthy. Local tribes eventually defeated the Dorians, which may have disrupted trade and diminished Dorian power in the area. But perhaps Prince Dorius meant to restore this power and become a wealthy king in the process. Why did he leave after only 3 years then? Because the local tribes teamed up with the powerful Carthaginians trading in the area, and together they chased the Spartans out of Libya. So now what? Humiliated but not yet defeated, Dorius consulted the oracle at Delphi and learned the descendants of Heracles would one day conquer a part of Sicily. So Dorius, a supposed descendant of Heracles, went to Sicily. But then what happened? Well, as it turns out, he misunderstood the oracle and got caught up fighting yet another local tribe being helped by the Carthaginians. The result? He and his men died in the fighting. So was this the end of his legacy? Actually, no. Dorius left behind a son named Euryanyx, who would go on to fight at the famous Battle of Plataea.